Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
NSFW. What is perfectly legal, but creepy as hell? Paparazzi. We have the right of complete access to your private life because a lot of people enjoy work that you do. That's the reasoning for their jobs. Thank God paparazzi is basically illegal in Europe. Edit. The European Union, not the whole of Europe. UK is excluded. I don't know about Russia. Exploiting your kids for fame on social media. I've seen the parents coaching the kids before when they didn't realize the camera was still recording. Accidentally uploaded the unedited video. I remember that mom who kept telling her son to cry harder, look more sad BC his dog died. And he yelled at her, I am sad. Quote, ugh, it was so disgusting. Makes me think of the influencer girl suffering from anorexia with her mother enabling her and supporting her not to seek treatment, but letting the disorder run freely. It's heartbreaking, and I can't even comprehend why the mother is allowed to keep her daughter from getting better, while also inspiring other people to start messing around with their daily intake of calories. It's disgusting and dangerous, and I feel for the poor girl. I truly hope she will get away from her abusive mother to start healing. Lawyer here. I once had a client drink another person's unflushed pee from a public toilet. The judge clearly hated that he had to dismiss my client's case. Edit. Lots of great questions, but I will remember what I learned at an MCLE training from Michael Jackson's lawyer. No comment is never the wrong answer. Judge. You're guilty of being super disgusting, but unfortunately for all of us, you somehow didn't actually break any laws. We have no law to fit your crime. Divorce lawyer here. People fighting like mad to get the dog in the divorce and then turning it over to a shelter out of spite. Although now in CEA there can be serious consequences for doing that due to recent law changes about pets and divorce. But it wasn't always that way. I can't imagine ever hating someone so much I'd be willing to take it out on an innocent animal. Hell, some of these people take it out on their own kids. Walking into an elevator and not turning around. I've always wanted to enter a crowded elevator, stand by the entrance looking in as the door closes behind me and say, I bet you are wondering why I gathered you here. Walk in, stare at the wall, and mumble, and so it ends. Before we begin, does anyone want to get out? At Disneyland, when it was Tower of Terror, they had you go upstairs and or regular elevators, versus the elevator ride, to get to the loading platform. Usually a cast member would act creepy or silly and say fun things as the elevator doors closed. One time a cast member, Tower of Terror bellhop, stepped in and just faced inwards towards us. Didn't say anything, just stared and slowly smiled more and more. And when the doors opened they took a step back and gestured where to walk, never breaking the creepy smile or 1,000-yard stare. It was perfectly unsettling. Man, I miss the Tower of Terror bellhops. They were even more dedicated to their roles than the Haunted Mansion cast members. ETA. I'm saying this because the tot in Disneyland got rethemed to Guardians of the Galaxy. The tots in WDW, Paris, and Tokyo, which is its own special deal, are all still there. Child beauty pageants. I have seen some of it, and yay, always a bunch of self-obsessed mothers putting their daughters through stress and misery, telling their daughters only looks matter so that the mother can get another trophy to stick in their display case and call themselves winners. My parents put me in a beauty pageant when I was 7. The school reports from my teachers and verbal reports from my parents as well as others around me note that after that whole shtick I became friendlier, more outgoing and more personable. That is not what I remember. What I remember is being forced to hold hands with someone's clammy, sweaty hands that always smelled like hair gel. What I remember is the humiliation as I realized I was supposed to walk to the center of the stage to receive my award, and I wasn't supposed to follow the voice that told me to come up. I ended up under the stage where the speakers were very confused, until they said, I would like to request to come back onto the stage please. What I remember is competing against 16 yos who were mean and awful to us little ones. She stole my lunch and I was told I couldn't have more. Nothing happened to her. I was 7, but small enough that I could pass for 5. The bully was 16 and could easily pass for early 20s. I made one friend the whole time. Like 9 months from signing up until the final show. And she was the only good thing about that whole experience. She was like 10, so a bit older than me, and she had options for friends her age if she had wanted them. But she stayed close to me and made sure I was safe because she saw I was the smallest kid around. And I was all alone. What others saw and what I experienced were vastly different things. Becoming friendlier and more personable was not a good thing because it drained my emotional energy. To be doing that, I naturally enjoy hanging out with a small circle and don't like making small talk or being overly social. But obviously extroversion is a desirable characteristic, so let's not question a good thing. If they questioned it, they would maybe understand that the extroversion that resulted from that experience was not a desirable characteristic but a defense mechanism. Smelling a seat when someone stands up. I saw a man do similar on a subway. A woman got up from her seat and he rushed over and pressed his cheek into the warm spot. So he just sat down then. Following people on the street for extended periods of time. When Jeffrey Donovan was preparing for the role of Michael Weston. Burn notice. About a spy. He followed people on the street and see if he could follow them without being caught. You'd have to be really, really bad at it for me to notice. Me and my girlfriend are rewatching this right now. This isn't relevant to anything. I just hardly ever see it mentioned anywhere. Which is a shame because it's one of my favorite shows.